Welcome to episode 24 of the Grit Code Podcast, a place where we decode the steps to success on and off the field. I am 11-year NFL veteran, three-time Pro Bowler Donte alongside number 378 NFL Hall of Famer and 49ers legend Patrick Willis, and with us each and every week, Bay Area TV and radio analyst Rod Brooks. Guys, we're coming off the Super Bowl. This was supposed to be an exciting weekend. Were we entertained?
I loved it. I like defense. Y'all play defense. Y'all like defense. I didn't like who won it, but stripping that aside, respect to the Seahawks, man. They did on Super Bowl Sunday what they've done all year long. Beat you up front, smother you with that coverage on the back end, tackle better than anybody in the league. Sam Darnold didn't make any mistakes. Respect to him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, Rod. I felt like it was a type of game that went right along with that old saying: offense wins games, defense wins championships. The way they started out, it looked like two heavy. It looked like two big dogs fighting, but then you eventually start to see which one is the heavier weight, and then which one is like more the middleweight. But I mean, overall, I felt like it was exactly what everybody thought. Like the Seahawks was going to get after those guys.
Truthfully, I hated it. And I know you're like, oh, Whitner, you a defensive guy. You know why I hated it? Because I'm a fan now. I'm so far removed from the game. I watch the game as a fan and I want to be entertained. Yes, I understand the intricacies of it and how defense wins it. But as a fan, I want to see fireworks. I want to see amazing plays. I want to see a high scoring game. And the NFL, secretly, they hated it because that's why they tweaked the rules. That's why they changed everything so that you can get high scoring games, so that you can get that euphoric feeling from the fans and scoring a lot of points. So I hated it from a fan point of view, but from a expert point of view, from a former player point of view, I thought that them boys put on a master class.
Yeah, man.
You didn't allow
Yeah, man.
Sam Darnold to lose the game, but you also leaned on your defense. And you want to know something? I realized that the 49ers compared to this Seattle defense, you know what's missing? Those four dominant rushers up front.
100%.
When they had their best years, they could play the most basic coverages, and them boys could just rush any kind of way, and they had success. And that's what the missing key ingredient is. Four men that can go and whoop some ass and win you some games. And that's all Seattle did. But congrats to Seattle. I've been on their back. We've been back and forth. They deserved it. They earned it. Them boys went out there. They were prepared. They didn't give up anything and they played to their identity. So, Seattle, salute to you. We'll get into the 49ers, but again, guys, I absolutely hated it as a fan. It was terrible.
But you know what, though? That was the NFL this year. It was a defensive year. Seattle's defense, excellent. Texans, really good defense. Broncos, good defense. That Patriots defense, no slouch whatsoever. Offensively, it was the Rams that I think consistently had the best offense over the course of the season. So now looking back on it, with 2020 hindsight, of course, a defensive performance won the Super Bowl because of how things shifted just a little bit this year towards the defense. But Donte, I think you make a very good point about the NFL and how they viewed this Super Bowl. They're all about entertainment. They'll be okay with a defense winning a Super Bowl this year, but multiple years or two years in a row? Oh, no.
You're not going to affect the brand like that. I'm telling you right now. We're talking about entertainment, Rod.
They ain't going to let you step on the product like that 2 years in a row.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about entertainment. This podcast is entertainment, right? We all have individual voices, and it's entertainment so that we can win. And when you talk about entertainment, how did you feel about the halftime performance from Bad Bunny?
Say, bro. Well, first and foremost, let me say this. Even if you didn't understand what the man was saying, and shout out to my Spanish teachers in high school for me being able to pick up a couple of words. But even if you didn't understand what the man was saying, the overall message was love and inclusion. And those are universal themes, right? Now, putting that aside for a second, the visuals, Lord have mercy. Woo-wee. You can
You gonna
you can
still be
pick out
married
what he's
after
putting
this?
down just by looking at it.
Are you still gonna be married after this episode? Are you trying to get kicked out the house? What are you trying to do?
Hey man, we all watched it together. We ain't crazy.
Man, how you feel about it?
I mean, man, I love music, and I mean, I feel like you say, music is like one of the universal languages that we have. It's about culture, it's about entertaining, and I feel like I feel like each year they try to hit different demographics to bring the inclusion and the love, just as Ryder was talking about. So for me, even though I didn't understand every word, just the aura of it, it just felt legit. So I didn't have two cents too
Well,
much
you
to say.
know, living down here in Miami, I don't have a chance. Everywhere you go, that's all you hear, and you gain an appreciation for it. There's some places you can live on the continent or in America that is like really dry. It doesn't really give you multiple cultures. This place does, and I've learned to gain an appreciation for Bad Bunny. And I've also learned to dig into the past of, what these people accomplished. Did you know 10 years ago, Bad Bunny was a grocery store bagger? Think about that. 10 years ago. We talk about the 10,000 hours and Malcolm Gladwell and what it takes to achieve greatness and the belief system. Can you imagine if he would have told his friends his visions and belief system about 10 years from now? I think I might be in the Super Bowl and one of the biggest artists in the world coming from Puerto Rico. Do you believe how bad they would have shit on that dream?
Shit, probably about the same way they almost shit on ours when we said what we was gonna do when they said let's.
Absolutely. I went through the same story, Pat, and I know you did. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
It's because we have relatability to that. 10 years ago, I'm bagging groceries in Puerto Rico for probably 50 cents an hour. 10 years later, I'm at the Super Bowl performing, and 130 million people are watching. That just shows you if you believe in yourself and you like let the outside critics just like don't penetrate, you can really achieve anything. So I respect the man, and the NFL did the right thing by putting Bad Bunny on there at the perfect time. I do truly believe that.
No, man, it's great, man. His story, to get it out of the mud the way that he did, and again, that's a universal theme. If you can't find a way, even if you don't understand it, even if that music is not your get down, if you can't find a way to respect a dude that literally went from nothing to everything within a relatively short amount of time,
10
that
years.
just means you a hater. And if you a hater, we don't have anything we want to do with you.
I'm all about people that earn it. You know how bad I be on people about nepotism on
Yes,
here.
sir.
And if you earned it and you went through the dark in the wilderness and you made it, I salute you forever. Never been a hater. I want to move on to the coaching debate. And I want to ask a hard question. And I want to start with you, Rod. I really want to go here. With everything that Kyle Shanahan has achieved, right? The NFC championships, the winning games in the regular season, did Mike Macdonald leapfrog him with this win and his dominance as a defensive coordinator? Now we're putting the emphasis on winning now.
That's a
And
really,
that Super
really good
Bowl is
question.
like the ultimate win.
It is the ultimate win, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Especially in your first year.
Oh, man. Kyle Shanahan has done it for longer.
Mhm.
Mike Macdonald has achieved more than Kyle Shanahan in winning the Super Bowl in a short amount of time. So that side of the ledger, that's check mark for Mike Macdonald. I will say this. I do think the two men are at the top of their profession in terms of the side of the ball that they coach on. Kyle Shanahan is thought of to be one of, if not the best offensive play caller in the league, offensive coach in the league. Obviously, respect to Sean McVay and obviously respect to Andy Reid. But for the sake of this argument, you put Kyle Shanahan at the top. Mike Macdonald is the best defensive coach in the league. Okay, best defensive head coach.
But you're saying Super Bowls don't matter.
No. Absolutely, Super Bowls do matter. But I do think there is some nuance here. Kyle Shanahan has had a longer career, but Mike Macdonald has achieved more than Kyle Shanahan in winning a Super Bowl in a shorter amount of time. So that's credit to Mike Macdonald. I do think that both of these guys, Shanahan and Macdonald, Shanahan's the best offensive coach in the NFL. Mike Macdonald's the best defensive coach in the NFL. Now, to bring it all together, until Kyle Shanahan figures out how to beat Mike Macdonald on a consistent basis, 3 times they played this year.
Andy Reid
once in week 1, Andy Reid as well. But for the purposes of this argument, until he finds a way to beat Mike Macdonald consistently, because he didn't do it when he brought that Ravens team in on Christmas. Obviously, again, 3 games this year, only winning 1. Right now, Mike Macdonald is ahead of Kyle Shanahan in terms of their relative strengths and winning and losing. So, and I was saying this to a friend of mine yesterday. This is kind of a turning point here for the Niners.
What, Rod? Who do you rank above each other? Which one?
Well, the guy who just won the Super Bowl right now is the winner. But I do think nuance is a part of the discussion, because I think it goes just beyond, well, what has happened this season.
I agree with you.
Well, thank you.
I totally agree. This is like one of the first times that I agree with you. It's like, because you just shot the shit.
It's not
so
one of the
real.
first times.
You shot the shit so real. I do rank Mike Macdonald over Kyle Shanahan now. Kyle Shanahan feels that. He feels that pressure immediately.
Sure.
Love Kyle Shanahan to death. He's an expert at what he does. He's one of the best in the National Football League and one of the history of the National Football League. But when you come in the first year and you immediately change the culture to where it's not just one game, it's not just a stretch of games, it's the entirety of the season and to the finish line. And when I see things on social media that shows that he only sees his kid for 1 time a week and how much he's in the facility and how intricate he knows his players, the defense, the front office, how they took on his identity in 1 year, that shows me that you have the keys to success. So you know where he got them from? From taking the steps. Nobody put him in position. They didn't make it easy for him. Starting at the University of Georgia as a GA, going on and like working on their staff, going to Michigan, bouncing around. That's where he got it from. And right now, I'll put Mike Macdonald. We'll talk about the top 5 head coach, coordinator candidates in the league. How do you rank them? Right now, I'll put Macdonald at number 1. I put McVay at number 2. I put Sean Payton at number 3. I put Andy Reid at number 4. And then I have to put Kyle Shanahan at number 5, mainly because all of those other guys have won Super Bowls and they've been dominant as a coordinator and they've done it simultaneously. How many times do we see guys move on and they become a head coach and then they relinquish the coordinator duties to somebody else and they end up failing? These guys have maintained a level of work ethic that has moved on and their players absorbed, and they're able to win. And I think that he'll do this more than once. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, I mean, after hearing both you guys talk, obviously, I'm gonna ride with Kyle. Not just because I'll be around those guys, but I don't know. For everything I heard Rod say, Donte, you back him. I didn't realize that. Yeah, he was the same guy that was over at the Ravens as well. For everything you said, Donte, they have took on his identity. It just for a second, I didn't know, when you asked that question, if his sample size was still too small to really be, comparing him, because, Kyle Shanahan, he has had, multiple runs, deep runs, and even everything he went through this year to still compete. And the team who won the Super Bowl, is a team that put him out. I still feel like they still, hand in hand. However, giving the notch to the present winner, because as Rod say, until you knock off the champions, like they are the team to beat. But this next year is really going to be defining. It's really going to be defining in a lot of in a lot of ways. So I don't know. I'm looking.
But I have a
forward
question to ask both of you. Why don't people remember our defenses and teams from 2011 to 2013?
Well, unfortunately, it's because you guys didn't get to and or win the Super Bowl.
Oh, we got to the Super Bowl.
But I said and.
But why
or
don't they
win,
remember us, Rod?
because you didn't win the Super Bowl.
Okay, so if Kyle Shanahan retired right now and Macdonald retired right now, who would they remember?
Oh, I mean, they'll remember them both.
No,
come on, dog. Come on,
Pat,
man. It might not
Pat,
be remembered for all the right
Pat,
things.
No, he won't.
Come on.
No, he won't. It'll fade.
You think so?
It'll fade. Those guys will have reunions every year. They'll get paid all types of fucking money off the field every year, every single last one of them. No. These guys will be remembered and commemorated as one of the best defenses and teams to ever play in NFL history now that they won the Super Bowl.
No, but you're saying that, but you asked which coach.
Okay, so after a short sample size with Macdonald and everything Kyle Shanahan has done, if they both retired today, in 10 years we're looking back, who are everybody gonna remember?
Man,
they're gonna remember them both.
Yeah, I feel like this is a conversation that's like a double-edged sword, giving my career than someone else who had a much longer career. You think about measurement on what they've done. Man, that's tough.
Well, Pat, you're a Hall of Famer, so you're an outlier, right?
But let's keep it a buck.
You out, Pat. Let's say you're not a Hall of Famer. You had the same amount of years like any of our other teammates. Dan Scooter, y'all played the same amount of years. Anybody ever gonna remember Dan Scooter? No, you're an outlier. So you're an outlier. But for the normal players and coaches that don't win a Super Bowl, they forget about you.
We do become destined. Even when you win, you become destined.
If we would have just won the ring, we would have went down as one of the best defenses in NFL history. The contrast is nobody ever talks about us or remember us.
But again, you keep bringing in different things. You're asked who's going to be remembered. Macdonald for winning one Super Bowl, if it doesn't win again, or Kyle Shanahan, who has had a long and lengthy career, more ups than downs, but he has not reached the pinnacle. And as I mentioned, there have been downs. But a coaching career that's coming up on double-digit years with Super Bowl appearances and things of that nature.
That don't matter. They don't remember the second place. Pat,
yeah,
you know that.
Yeah,
We've been taught that all
he's
our
going
lives.
to be remembered.
They never remember second place, Pat.
Come on now.
You felt that confetti on your head, Pat.
But he is one of the top. I mean, he's part of that. He's part of one of the top coaching regime. Like,
who was the Buffalo Bills offensive coordinator or head coach and those guys when they lost 4 consecutive Super Bowls?
Marv Levy.
Of course, you gonna know that.
Yeah.
But Pat, would you have been able to recollect that immediately?
No, I probably wouldn't even know where to start.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, Rod, you're in this industry, so you know that. But for the normal fan,
shout out Daryl.
If you ask them, the Buffalo Bills had the most success out of almost any team in that year in the 90s, 80s, 90s for the Buffalo Bills. Jim Kelly at quarterback, Thurman Thomas. I know those things. But for the normal fans that weren't just diehard Buffalo Bills fans, do they remember those guys?
You know what's funny, Donte? Everything you were saying right now, someone asked me the other day about, what is there something I missed? Is there something that I wish I could have got? And I don't know what it is, but it is something about when you come back to the reunions, and it's been like this since day one.
Got that motherfucking jewelry.
Man, when you come back and you hear them say Hall of Famer and Super Bowl champion or Super Bowl champion Hall of Famer, something just hits. It just hits.
I got the chills, Pat.
It just hits different. Like, I don't even feel like I could even stand beside. Like, sometimes Charles, he welcomed me, and he even though he a tough apple, I think I got on his good side. But It's just certain guys. It's just certain people when you standing beside them and you hear you see they got the Super Bowl rings and yes,
And jewelry.
they got the Hall of Fame, but they got 3-time Super Bowl champ. It's
Oh
just something about
shit.
like God forgive me, but man, this show would have been nice.
Just what I'm saying. So when we have this argument and we talk about this, right? That one ring, it means
changes
more
everything. I
than
get that.
winning regular season games, getting close, and having that type of success. That's nothing.
Man,
That ring, that ultimate like crown and symbolism, that's everything. Every player will tell you that. I promise you.
hey Donte, when you saying that right now, you know who it makes me think of? That lead was the lead. I don't even like calling them by their nicknames, but I respect those guys though because you know what they did.
Legion of Boom.
Yeah, they got one right?
They got one. They was dominant 5 years and they got one.
And that kind of gives them a solidification that I feel like
Over us.
over us. And I'm like, man, that just it irks me where I'm like, man, if we
Me
could just
too,
go
Pat.
back, we could just go
We were
back.
neck and neck. Me and Deshaun, Earl Thomas and Cam Chancellor, you and Navarro versus their linebackers.
Yeah.
Hey, I know. So when I'm sitting home watching this shit, I'm like, that gave them the advantage. Do you understand the Super Bowl team with Harbaugh would have been there during the Super Bowl this year if we would have won it, everybody together? It would have been possible to keep all the guys out of there if we would have won that championship. So it's just different. That's what I'm saying, right? That shit different. So, all right, we can beg to differ. You know, we can agree to disagree with that. All right, let's go to the power shift in NFC. We know that the Arizona Cardinals is like, they don't even exist. But with the NFC taken over by the Seattle Seahawks and their youth, the amount of cap space they have this year to re-sign guys back, get younger, get fresher, add some weapons. Does the NFC West run through Seattle for the foreseeable future?
The entire NFC runs through the NFC West, which means you got to go through Seattle. So the answer to that question is yeah.
Yeah, Rod, you said a lot, and to answer that too, I was like, okay, but yeah, I'm with you, Rod. I think that right now they've earned the right to, and it kind of goes back to what you always say. They are the champions, and until you beat the champions, like they are who you got to go through. So, yeah, I'm gonna say,
Pat, how bad does it pain you to have to say that?
Was that?
How bad does it pain you to have to say that?
Man, it irks me. It really does. Like I didn't even Levi is not necessarily like they say home is where the heart is, and Candlestick will always have that heart of mine. And Levi, you know, I'm by default, you know, because the Niners play there. But I don't know what it was or just the mindset of me just seeing them in there smoke those cigars and just enjoy, like just relish in that locker room. And in my mind, I'm thinking like, man, like what? Why does it it bothers me, man? Like I just feel like I just want to I want to go up there, I want to destroy it there, I want to win next year, just so we can say I don't know what it is, but it just something just doesn't feel right about this whole like thing. Like,
yeah, I can agree with you on Candlestick. You can feel the mystique and the history. As soon as you step in the locker room, walk down the tunnel, you can feel the spirit of Joe Montana, Ronnie Lott. When you get a big hit in Candlestick, you could fucking feel that shit vibrating. I'm telling you, you can. In Levi Stadium, you get a big hit, it's almost like shit don't mean nothing.
You're like a little Pete in a pot or something.
Yeah, you got that real grass and Candlestick. And it's like, man, we out here to hunt, especially when you have a good team. But I think I do agree with you guys that this entire league is going to run through Seattle for the foreseeable future. When you look at their leadership and you look at their style of play, when you look at the ability just to rush you with 4. And they played the most basic coverages behind it. Pat, they played everything we fucking played.
Mm-hmm.
Cover 2, cover 1, cover 3, disguise a little bit, knew that those guys was going to get home, got good reroutes, plant and break, the most basic and simple of football. So when you hear Macdonald say, oh, yeah, it's such a beautiful thing and a blessing when you can stop the run with split safeties. Yeah, motherfucker, of course. You got a dominant front 4. Boys, like 2 people can't fucking block them. You got 4, 5, 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes coaching very easy when you got those dogs up front that can go get the quarterback and stop the run. And you can allocate extra guys to stop the pass. It's common sense. So I think that until the teams get more like Seattle, where you take risk on guys, free agency, that entire defensive line came in free agency in the last
Yep.
3-4 years.
Yep.
Guys that other teams didn't want, that had some off the field issues, maybe some character issues, and they brought them in, they molded them, and they turned them into what they needed. And that's what every team is going to try to do moving forward. So I agree that they control the NFC West and the entire NFL moving forward.
Can I say this, though? If you're
Yeah.
going to swing and bang with Seattle, you better make sure your offensive line is up to the task. Okay?
Absolutely. And you
You
better
can't-
make sure
no
that
mistakes
the
allowed
boy
up
hitting
front.
too now.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. There's a degree of toughness that you have to match with the Seattle Seahawks.
Have you
and
seen
it starts
Ernest
with
Jones?
What they do up front.
Ernest Jones was like he wouldn't smoke a pack of Black and Miles right after the game. Every time, his lips so black.
Come on,
I'm
dog.
looking like, man, that's one of them real figures out there, man. That's one of them trench babies. And nobody wanted him. LA didn't want him. He got traded. And guess what? They molded him into what they needed him to be.
Yeah.
And it came out to be. We did it with Alden. We did it with Ahmad Brooks, right? It can happen. Now, moving over to the 49ers and what they should do to get more like the Seattle Seahawks, should they bring in Maxx Crosby? Plain
Hell
and simple.
yeah.
What do you give up for him?
Oh, well, that's a different question. That ain't my job. You asked me if I wanted to see him get Maxx Crosby. Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, it's no doubt somebody like that who can change the game. You gotta know where he is. You gotta know where he is on the field at all times. I don't think it's a matter of whether they would want to have someone like that. I think it goes back to what you just said, Donte. What are they willing to give up for him? And they have to give up something premium for him because he's still that top guy. And I don't know if after seeing that deal that what the coach did for Sauce Gardner, and Crosby is, a little bit more. I mean, I know he is a little bit older now. He tends to have some injuries. He tend to be like, get an injury or two, a season. So I think it's a matter of what you're willing to give up.
Did they give up 3 number ones for Sauce?
They gave up something crazy, and it's gonna come back to bite them in the ass.
Yeah,
I know it was something crazy, but with Maxx Crosby, I think to try to match what the Seattle Seahawks are doing, you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go all in, especially if you're going to keep Bosa. You're going to play a 4-3. You need another dominant defensive end, and that's the only dominant guy out there is Maxx Crosby.
Mm-hmm.
Trey Hendrickson, he's getting a little older. Maxx Crosby, a motor just like Nick Bosa.
Yeah.
So if you're going to match those guys and you're going to take them down as the champion, you have to do whatever you have to do. So if you have to give up 2, 3 first rounders, second round pick, give up a player here and there, you do it to go get Maxx Crosby because you're at that point where you almost have to win a Super Bowl.
And I feel like, and they're in the need of I can see that possibly. Like, I think they're in the need of a quarterback too, huh?
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably going to end up drafting Mendoza number 1.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be shit.
But
I'm gonna tell you, they need to go ahead and get Mac Jones over there. You understand? Mac Jones, a first round pick, maybe a second for Maxx Crosby. That puts you in position to compete with the Seattle Seahawks. I'm telling you, those fucking guys back there for Seattle, they're not really all world like that. Pat, you know it. When you got that dominant front four like that, you could play those simple coverages. And you get just focus on your job. Man, we all A+. Man, we all deserve to get paid out there. So if you got 2 of them boys coming on, man, them boys, man, you got to do whatever you got to do to go get that guy. I'm telling you, you have to. One more thing I want to talk to before we bring our guest in for today. I saw something about Fred Warner guaranteeing the Super Bowl for the 49ers next year. Was this the right move?
I mean, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna say yes because Fred is the heart and soul of that team.
You would have never done that though.
but we're different. We're different type of guys. Some guys, they can speak it and then they go and they back it up. And Fred is one of those guys that I've seen him work. He is one of those guys that he's an emotional leader and he's going to match exactly the words that's coming out of his mouth. Whereas for me, I barely could talk that well, so I felt like if I was going to try to do all that talking, I might stutter. So I just said,
So let me go get somebody.
yeah, let my actions speak for themselves. But it coming from Fred and knowing his work ethic, obviously I'm the first to say humble but hungry. But again, coming from somebody like Fred, he's an emotional leader. Those guys believe in him, and so I think it just sets the tone going into the off season.
Yeah, there's no downside to saying it. I don't have a problem with it.
Well, I have personal experience in Buffalo. I became a captain, and I started talking and feeling myself. And I came out and said, we're going to make the playoffs this year. I guarantee it. You know how bad we got slapped the fuck around that year? I took the brunt of everything because of me opening and running my mouth instead of just going out into silence and solitude, working, connecting with my teammates. Because guess what? There's 11 players on defense, and you're only one. And you can't control what these guys do in the offseason. You can't control their thought processes. You can't control their mindset. You can't control how they perform on game day. You can't control how they perform in practice. So you're 1 out of 11. That's about 9.1%.
He ain't just anyone. He ain't just
I know, but he can say it all he want, but that don't mean they gonna go do what they supposed to do. That don't mean the front office gonna bring the guys in that they supposed to bring in free agency or in the draft. So guess what? If none of those things happen, you don't win the Super Bowl.
It seems to me like you forgot that you were in Buffalo and you had to deal with Tom Brady.
I know, but even still,
and you said you became a captain. Like he been captain for a long time.
I know. Hey, listen, it's still the same thing. You haven't proven it yet.
I mean,
within football culture, they always tell us, just go do the work, let the game like talk for itself. Like right now with the Seattle Seahawks, I think the only thing that I love Fred. The only thing that made Fred do that was Seattle winning the Super Bowl in Levi Stadium. I'm telling you, it was one of those things where he had to reassure the fan base. He like, fuck, we got close, we ain't do it. These boys did it on our turf. He actually wanted to reassure the fan base in that moment, hey guys, don't give up on us.
Can I say this? He was really good on TV. So shout out to Fred.
He was actually really good. He was
excellent on the Super Bowl pregame show. But you could tell it was bothering him that Seattle was in Levi's and they were on the cusp and eventually winning the Super Bowl. When he was in the locker room, in the Niners locker room that the Seahawks were using for the Super Bowl, you could tell by the look on Fred's face. He's like, nah, there's nothing about this that's right. So I do think, Donte, there is some truth to that, where he was just so pissed off about the Seahawks being in Levi's and about to win the Super Bowl that he's like, no.
Go through the history of all Fred Warner interviews. It doesn't matter. He's never done anything or said anything to that level.
Dad, you know what year it is, man. You know when you
I know. So he's like, shit, we gotta get through. Like it's we need a sense of urgency around this.
Fred understands the deal. That's what it is.
He's like, man, we got to get this done now. He going into what, year 9?
Yeah.
Pat, you know when you start to get around year 9, 10, 11, you really don't know.
I didn't make it that long. Spot. I didn't make it that long, but I started feeling around 7, 8, around 6, 7, 8. I was like, ooh, man.
You start pulling that motherfucking train.
Get this thing going.
Yeah, I'm like, come on now. Especially after we lost that 2013 NFC Championship and the world went down. I'll never forget saying like, God dang, man, do I got it in my body to bring all this together again, man? I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, for sure. That shit is serious, man. That Super Bowl ring means a lot, but we're going to go ahead and segue into our next segment. We got on one of our former teammates on, Pat, Kyle Williams, Arizona State wide receiver. Actually, one of the toughest guys I ever think I covered in the slot during the time that we played for the San Francisco 49ers. Won a Super Bowl with the Denver Broncos. We welcome Kyle to the show. Kyle, what's going on, my boy?
What's going on? What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
How you doing, man?
Yo,
All right,
welcome,
all right.
welcome.
So I'm gonna go right into it because a lot of people out there, they're like, man, who is this guy? Kyle, you grew up with a MLB father, a guy who
Mhm.
was in the front office, who was a former player. Can you talk about your upbringing and what actually drew you to the game of football?
Man, well, the upbringing part, is real privilege to be able to be in a locker room setting and be in a professional setting. I mean, from the time you can walk. I mean, he had us in the facilities and seeing superstars operate at a daily level and just what they did to prepare, and then like the kind of the values that he would kind of relay to us as far as how the front office sees players and how they judge you from the parking lot. They don't just judge you from the moment you walk in the building. They're looking at what car you drive, how you spend your money. They're looking at
The
how you
ice on your
prepare
neck, Kyle.
everything,
That
everything. And then
moisture
yeah, man. And if you pull it into the locker room and or into the parking lot and you blast the music and the whole thing, they paying
smell
attention to
like
everything.
weed.
The whole thing, man. So like if you coming in, you got to understand that that's relaying a message all the way throughout the building, and that's telling that front office what type of guy you are, what type of player you are, and can you be dependent on. So you having that, from an early age is invaluable, man. I think that kind of cut that curve when I did walk in a locker room and see guys like Pat and see guys like yourself, and it doesn't make that moment too big for you because you've been seeing it since you was a kid.
How did you escape baseball? How did you get into football? I mean, obviously your dad, Kenny Williams, GM with the White Sox. I mean,
Yeah.
did he scout you and say, son, I think you're going to be a better football player than baseball player?
Nah, he was on the opposite side. I mean, I was, and I don't talk about it too much, but I was probably better at that game than I was at football because I played it since I was 3 years old. I was a switch hitting speed guy that could play the middle infield and the outfield. And I remember my pops telling me after my junior season, I had tore my elbow going through, I was a running back in high school, going through the trenches and tore my elbow up. And he told me, if you quit football this year, I can tell you right now, you'll be a first round pick in baseball next year. And I'm not talking to you as your father. I'm talking to you as a GM of the White Sox. And you know how it is. Y'all know how it is. Whenever you're young and you're told, you can't do something, that's the thing you want to go do, right? And from to his credit, he was trying to kind of let me know what an asset I would be on the baseball side, but all I could hear was, "You're not gonna make it in football." And I took that personally, and I decided that that was going to be kind of my path. And ever since we're kids and we're in the shadow of somebody in a city like that, I grew up in the Chicago area, and it was always, whenever you saw the news clippings, it was always Kenny Williams' son Kyle, or Kenny Williams' son Kenny Jr. And you know there's a stigma that kind of comes with that, that nepotism that Donte talks about a lot. There's it's attached to you. You
And
can't
you
really
feel
shake
like
it.
your peers are judging you based on they think your father gave you something.
Exactly. And you already placed into a filter. No matter what type of player you are, you're going to be placed into that filter. And for me, it was, I can make my own path. And if you don't think I can do something, I'm gonna go try and do it. So that gave me a different type of motivation. And then going to ASU, I was still playing baseball while I went there to play football. There was kind of a both understanding. And the first year, my football coach got fired and changed things a little bit because we had Dennis Erickson coming in, and Erickson told me, as a former NFL coach, "Hey man, you're gonna have to choose. You're probably pretty good in both, but in order to make it to the NFL, you need to go all in, and in order to make it to Major League Baseball, you got to go all in. So pick one and dive all the way in." And it's 70,000 people at the football game and about 100 people at the baseball game. So as an 18-year-old kid, that's an easy decision. And I got my starting spot on the football side and kind of never looked back.
But thinking about that, and a lot of times we make those decisions ego based,
Yeah,
and we
yeah.
think we know the right choice to make in the moment. But in retrospect, when you think back about your NFL career and what could have been, do you ever think like, damn, maybe I should have played baseball?
Hell yeah. Man, I had 5 surgeries in 5 years on this left leg. You know, ACL, Achilles, meniscus, and then my hip labrum. And I still got 5 more to go, you know, between my toes and shoulders and neck. And yeah, man, every morning when I get up, I think about that. You know,
So that's part of life that we have to deal with, is part of like
yeah,
regret. Like a
it's
decision that you like, how did you overcome that? Like, because I know you constantly think about that. I have things in my life I constantly think about, like, shit, I
oh
wish I would
man,
have done that different.
man, I got a laundry list of those, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how we're built. You know, we're built, you know, having so much success over and over and over again. Those few times that it doesn't work out, yeah, they're gonna replay in your mind. I know you guys. I mean, with as great of players as y'all was, man, like all time players, and I know there's plays that y'all want back. It's just the way we're wired. It's the way we're built. It's what makes us professionals.
So reaching the
Yeah.
NFL, you were a 6th-round pick.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel like validation, or did you feel the pressure like, hey, I chose this path, I have to perform because of the family dynamic you came from in the spotlight?
It was not necessarily. I think I didn't put a lot of pressure on it because once I made that decision, it was made with my heart, man. It was made like with everything. I knew what I was doing when I was getting into it, and I didn't look back and probably do the what if thing until after the fact. You know, while we was in it, it was full speed ahead, and you know how it is too, especially getting into that locker room. And you know, for me, I was a later round pick. You know, so it was never guaranteed that I was going to stick. So I didn't have no time to, you know, be thinking about anything else at all. I remember seeing when I first got there, Coach Singh was he brought me in his office. I had a couple good weeks, and I thought I was, you know, maybe I have arrived. I got here. You know, I'm getting open. I'm making plays at practice. And he brought me in and said, "You don't look like you want to be here. You want to go play baseball or something?" And I'm like, bro, I'm confused, bro. I thought I was supposed to be making plays. I don't know how this is, but yeah, man, it was. You know how it is, bro. It's so
Those are
fast.
psychological games that they play with late
Yeah,
round
man.
picks.
Yeah.
Having to deal with the Grim Reaper during training camp,
Every time you see
put
him,
you
man.
on the 3rd team, even though you busting everybody's ass.
Yeah.
Starters can't cover you. Pat Willis can't cover you, and he a
K-
Hall
hey,
of Famer.
You
And you're
know,
like,
K-
man, why the fuck
hey,
can't I play?
you know, you know.
Hey, dude, I tell you, hey, speaking of, hey, I don't think that's with Coach Singh. I don't think that has anything to do with the round you were drafted in, because
He did
I
it to
had Coach
you.
Singletary at the Senior Bowl, and this man kept calling me 49, and in my head I'm thinking like, man, like you know I have a last name, right? So that was the whole week. That was the whole week of the Super Bowl. I mean, Senior Bowl. Then all of a sudden I get drafted. And I pray to God. I said, Lord, please, I do not want to go where high taxes, and I do not want to go where I get drafted. I get drafted to both. I get drafted to where both of them are taxes and
Yeah.
Hey, that first week of practice, Coach Singh is like, he's calling me Mississippi 52.
Yeah.
To Mississippi, and I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like, this man is messing with me,
I
man.
got
I'm like,
a
I'm a
name,
grown man.
dog.
My ego almost got in front of me, and I never forget. It was a third week, and I was like, man, if he call me 52 again this week, I'm gonna be a man. I'm gonna say, hey man, you know I got a name. You call me by my name. That week he told me I was starting, and I promise you not, man. It was after that week, after I had my start, went out there and did what I was supposed to do against Chicago. That next week, he started calling me Pat.
So you had to earn that. You had to
Oh, so
earn
you
that.
like,
Yeah.
oh, you trying to teach me something? I gotta
Yeah.
learn
I
these
realized
programs.
you had to earn his. You had to earn his.
Yeah.
In his word, you got to earn the right to be great. You got to earn his
100%.
respect and whatnot.
100%.
But you did that though, man. Like I was a fan of you. Like you said, hey, couldn't nobody cover you in practice. I said, man, this rascal right here, man, is about this
Yeah.
high they can move, man, and got
Yeah, man.
hands.
Yeah, man. It was that, and that's the thing is that was what I knew I was good at. You know what I'm saying? And that was what, you know, I do wish. Y'all know we played a power offense, power running offense, and it was, you know, for me, it was probably better suited for me to be in a spread offense where I can move around. But it's like, hey, you get in where you fit in. And instead of that, I just became like, all right, if that's what we need, I'll be the guy that goes in the trenches. I'll be the guy that goes in there to block and dig out John Vilma and them. If that's what we need, I got it. And I
And they're
want to
gonna
make
give you
sure
a special play 1 or 2 times a game.
1 or 2
You
you
can get
get
on
your
the safety,
opportunity.
and they Cap, you better throw that motherfucker right.
Better, please
You
throw
know what
it.
I'm saying?
Hey, but the other side of it is that, I'm on an offense with, we had Crab, we had Randy that year, then we had Mario. Before that, Vernon and Delaney and Frank, Kendall.
Ted, don't forget your boy Ted again now.
Teddy, the main one, and that's the thing.
Teddy gonna be mad when you didn't
Nah. See, because I got a whole section for Teddy, because that's my brother right there. But when you have that much on an offense, it's like, okay, you get in, you find a role. Teddy was our speed guy, and that's my thing, right? But Teddy's the speed guy. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's get it. You find your spot, you find a role, help the team, and do whatever you can. That's another thing that my pops had put into us when we was kids. It's like, you're not always going to be the man, and most of these guys in this building aren't. There's a couple that are, and the rest of these guys got to find a way to help the team win, and that is more important than the money side. That's more important than the recognition side. Winning games and being a team guy has always been the baseline for us, and I'm glad I was able to carry that all the way up.
But it seems so simple, though, right? It's called sacrifice. We did the same thing on defense, where you would have like, Isaac Sopawaga and all of these guys burying themselves so that we could run free and make tackles.
Man.
And guys on the edge, like Ahmad Brooks sacrificing himself, hitting full bags, and going under and taking two in the run game.
Man, y'all as a defense, bro, like, and I heard you guys talking about Seattle's defense and the great defenses, and y'all not being spoken about as you should. I agree with you on that. And every time I see a fast defense, every time I see a defense that you said have guys that can sideline to sideline cover the entire field, it's reminiscent of that, but I don't think we've ever seen it like y'all were doing it. Like with that pass rush that we had, the interior pass rush we had, and then with Bo and Pat, and then you and Hawk in the back.
And we knocking your noodles to fuck loose. You understand? That's the common. Listen, that's the competitive advantage. We knocking your noodles loose. You understand?
Hey, and that would be one of those ones we would be scared to deal with. You gotta prepare for it all week, and you're thinking about it. You definitely.
Hell yeah, I'm fucking you up, and I'm gonna tell you all game, Kyle, I'm fucking you up.
Hey,
if you catch the ball, I'm fucking you up. They're like,
hey, quiet as this kept. I remember your first practice. I remember the first padded practice when Witt came over, and I'm like, because I know I watched Ohio State growing up. Like I know who we talking about. I watched him with the Bills. I know who we talking about. But the pace you played with at practice, I remember the first day of pads, smacked the shit out of somebody. I can't remember who it was, but I'm like, does he know that we on the same team? Like,
no,
but
ain't none of that shit, man. Hey, listen,
and it set the tone. It set the tone. Like it's always talked about, like that when Harbaugh came in, it was the same guys, that we brought the same guys. But there was a lot of additions to that team that came in that offseason that I think changed the way of how we really did things, with being one of them. And then you look at the core special teams guys that we added that year in between. You're talking about Blake, you're talking about T. Good, you're talking about CJ, like all those dudes that came in. We had a different mindset going into that year, with that first year with Harbaugh. It was a different
team. Fuckers were grenades with cleats on.
Man.
You ever seen a grenade running down the field with cleats on?
Man, he taking missiles all of them, bro.
Like, watching the film, like, man, we gonna get hurt.
Yeah, bro, and it set the tone for us. That whole regime that we had, it set the tone.
Now we talk about pain. We got to go into it.
Yeah, got to.
The pain, and then when you come out of the pain, it's more so of a purpose. Mm-hmm. So, like I've expressed on this show, one of the hardest losses for me to ever deal with was that NFC Championship when we lost to the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I cried the whole way home. I had snot bubbles coming out my nose. Mm-hmm. I had the hiccups. I mean, I just couldn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
So in that game, everybody knows out there, you had 2 turnovers, but that one was devastating.
The one, yeah, oh yeah.
It was in the overtime. It led to the final field goal. How did that affect the way that you perceived yourself in the National Football League?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to just speak about the aftermath and how
Man,
you recovered from it.
that's a really good question, and I'm grateful that I'm on here with y'all so I can be vulnerable about it. You know, like there's not a platform in which you could talk about something like this and explain it without it sounding like excuses, right? And I would never make an excuse, and I haven't for 13 years now, 14 years now, and yeah, man, when you talk about it being painful, you talk about it being tough, and you talk about, how you felt. I mean, I remember y'all played a hell of a game, so I can imagine how y'all felt. I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like this is the worst game I've ever played on a football field. So going home, and really the aftermath, there's blurbs, right? There's moments that you kind of remember, but it was just such a chaotic moment. I do remember the first person that was at my locker after this happened was Pat Willis. Mm-hmm. And he waited on me, and he told me when I got in there, he said, "I put you back there 100 more times out of 100. I believe in you. I trust you." That right there gave me probably what I needed to get through that day, to not, like you said, look at myself a certain way as a football player. But, that day, you know what I'm saying? And you got to live with yourself day after day after day. I think, the pain is what propelled me to work like an absolute fucking animal at that time. And I needed to do that to kind of get some of that off me. But I don't even think I understood the magnitude of the pain until I had to sit with it. I wasn't able to channel it nowhere else, and I had to sit with it. And, that next year I tore my ACL. That was another hurdle, and then tearing it again after that, that was another hurdle. Because every time you're not able to actively practice and go through and channel that somewhere else and do what you love to do and get a chance to get your lick back. For us, while we still got house money to play with, we're not going to go cry in the corner. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in the fight. So we still going, right? When things slowed down and, all the injuries kind of mounted up and I retired, that was another hurdle. It was another challenge, because now it's what if with no remorse. I can't do anything about it. I got no chance to get my lick back, So now it's just, you have to kind of sit with it and come to terms with that. And I got to tell you, man, that got very, very, very dark for some years, because again, y'all know me, man, but not everybody does. I don't care about too much except this game. I didn't care about shit else except my teammates. Like that's just how I was wired. Again, my pops made me like that since I was a kid. So like the only thing I care about is what I'm doing on this football field and my guys I'm doing it with. And the idea that you guys talked about it earlier, man, and it hit me earlier. The idea that guys that are as great at this game and have been as great at this game as you two are, the fact that y'all feel a way about not being able to say you're Super Bowl champion, it fucking bugs me, bro. It hurts me. It hurt because, again, you guys are great. I got one of those. I got a ring because my team was so damn good in Denver. I was hurt the whole year. So it's bittersweet. I can say that, but I don't feel like my career matches up in any shape, way, or form to you guys's, right? So hearing you guys say that, yeah, bro, that stings to this day. This is going to be something that I die with, you know what I'm saying? And because it's never going to not hurt. Now, there's been things that I've done to help. There's been teammates that have helped me along the way. And again, without that help from you guys, without that love from you guys, oh man, I shit could have got really bad.
So we talk about purpose after pain. The purpose that comes with dealing with a lot of those different things is how you absorb it, how you articulate it to others, and help them deal with trauma.
Mm-hmm.
And you're helping people recover from brain trauma and performance setbacks.
Yeah.
Do you think that moment, as painful as it was, became the foundation of what works for you today?
Yeah, man. I think I feel an innate responsibility now to help those people that
Well,
whether
first off, sorry, Kyle. Explain to us who you're working with and what you're actually doing when it comes to this type of trauma. I apologize.
So this one's a little bit long-winded, but I'll make it as quick as I can. And it kind of goes right after what I was saying, right when things slowed down. And, I talk about that dark place I was in. There was other things too that was catching up with me as far as my health, my mental, and I had a lot of concussions, as y'all know. When I played, I was that returner life, and I wasn't afraid, so I'm running right into it, So I dealt with a lot of brain trauma myself when I kind of retired and things slowed down. I was getting to a point where I couldn't remember things, and I tweeted that out. I'm not a big Twitter dude, social media dude, none of that, but I tweeted it out, and Bruce, our old teammate, Bruce Miller, saw it. And he called me about 10 times until I picked up the phone and put me in touch with the guy who was in Tampa who was doing this work. And he had a company called Nestry. Calvin Johnson's worked with him. RG3's worked with him. But more or less, it is neuro strength training. And what this company does is it is able, through neuro EEG feedback, it's able to identify the parts of your brain that have damage and have trauma to them. And we're able to train that and strengthen those parts of your brain so that they can create new neural pathways and essentially get your brain clicking again. And I got to tell y'all, when I was in that dark place and I was forgetting, I ran into Curtis Jackson, our old teammate out here, and I didn't recognize him. And he was like, "Hey, Dub." And I took me a second to recognize, I know this man. I bled with this guy. You know what I'm saying? But I'm forgetting moments like that. I'm forgetting time blocks. So I tweeted that out. Bruce called me until I picked up, put me in touch with the dude, and went down there, got some brain scans. And more or less, he turned my neurocognitive index, which is how well your brain is working or clicking, from an 18%, which is close to mentally impaired, to 82%. And basically got my brain back working. And I mean, that change, again, I was in that dark place I'm talking about, fellas. I thought I was going to die. I thought I was like, I got CTE, this is it. And then I'm watching our former teammates pass away, left and right. We got guys that are passing away, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm next, because I can't even remember my, this whole block of time. So things are digressing, right? From that moment on, I mean, I was back ascending. My brain was back on. I was able to, again, have these type of conversations. I was able to find my words and actually go out in public. For a while, it was that real. And since I've been given, I guess, my life back, I feel like an innate responsibility to help guys and to really get guys in there that are dealing with these brain-based issues. Because one, I don't want to see.
And even if you're not.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right. And because I know this can help everyone, but I just really feel like if there's something that's helping guys, but we also have guys passing away, we need to get this to everybody, and we got to get it to them now. And I feel like that's part of my innate responsibility, because I have that backstory that you talked about. And then I was healed and I was fixed, and I've been given another shot at it. So I feel like this is part of my purpose, and part of that purpose of, yeah, maybe you have to go through some tough shit, but if you can get other people through it, or if you can help other people not have to go through it, then, this is that purpose.
Yeah. You got me over here thinking about that moment. As you talk about me being there, I still remember like it was yesterday, because I was like, man, I've always felt, whether I'm team captain or not, we win as a team, we lose as a team. We win as a team, we lose as a team. Yeah. And man, what's crazy is 2012, now is a year later, this championship game against who was it?
I know what you're talking about, Sean Payton and the boys. And you gave up the thing, and I did too. I felt like I lost the game too.
And I said, man, I'll never forget. We covered 2, K-Dub, and man, I was like, everything going through my mind. But
you covering Jimmy Graham.
I look
inside leverage. I'm the safety to your side. It's funny.
It was me and Donte were both on that, but it was.
And I looked like the shittiest player ever in the history of the NFL.
Man, I said, I ain't gonna lie. The only thing I think back, and I said, God, I must be working on grace and mercy, because of that moment. The year prior, I went over there and I was there for you in that moment. I was like, God, you saved me because I don't know what I would have done, man. People, all my whole career, like would have been summed up in this one play had them guys not been on that offensive side and scored. And so, man, it's moments like, yeah, I can only imagine like what that could have like felt like. But the fact that you are here now to be able to like share your testimony, man, I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
But it's
man.
crazy that we're all here because remember Alex Smith drove us down to score the game-winning touchdown, and guess who had the key block on that play?
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah. See, but don't nobody, again, like you said, when you lose the next one, don't nobody talk about that one. You know,
He had the key block to get him into the end zone,
Yeah.
Pat. So me and you gave up a shitty play on the same play. It felt the same. I'm like, oh shit. I just lost the game. Because I went in and I'm like, do I hit him? Do I get the pick? So I went for the pick and the motherfucker caught it and I did a 360 spin and the motherfucker ran to the end zone. I'm like, oh shit.
Hey, but
And then we came down,
game.
and then
That's
Kyle
the
got the
game.
game-winning block. So that's how brothers take care of each
That's
other.
the game, man. That's what this is, and it's again. I appreciate the team we had because we was all so tight with each other that, yeah. Again, I feel like if we weren't with something like that, it would have been easy for y'all to turn against me. It would have been easy for y'all to not say nothing to me when we come back for OTAs, and it's like, oh, he did, but. I can't tell y'all how many phone calls I got that night from us. Deshaun called me that night, and he said, if anybody's fucking with you, you let me know. Like, it was countless support from my guys. You know, Navarro was at the house. You know what I mean? Like, it's countless support from all the guys. And once you get that support and once you get that love from your teammates, it makes dealing with the world a lot easier.
You know, big reason I love to do this kind of stuff is because I was lucky enough as a non-player to see from the inside what a football team is. And it's a collection of really good athletes, you know, guys who are, you know, mentally are just different than non-football players. But you guys are still human beings. Mm-hmm. And for me, you know, being the sideline reporter and covering you guys, to see in the inside, to see you guys as human beings, it changed the way I looked at football because I looked at it from a human perspective. Excellent athletes, mentally just different people, but we're still talking about human beings. Right. And I've tried to tell people, if you look at these guys as people, as human beings, you will view the game differently and you will view the highs and especially the lows differently. And I just love the fact that people are getting a glimpse into the human side of a very, very good football team that had some highs, but had some lows. And people can understand and see we're just talking about three dudes who love football, but they loved each other through 100%. The good times and the bad times. And to see that bond from 2013 to where we are now in 2026. Because I love just sitting back and just watching you guys vibe because this is exactly how you guys would chop it up in the locker room. Yeah. I'm happy, Kyle, you're with us and you're vulnerable and you're telling this story. And D and Pat, to see you guys like once again embrace your teammate, even though we are years away from that low moment. This is a beautiful thing right here, dog.
Man, absolutely. And those hard-ass hardball practices, if you can love a motherfucker after them hard fucking practices, you really fucking love him. He tried to run us in the dirt, dog. I swear.
Had us squaring up with each other, the whole thing.
Hell
if somebody try us from the outside, we got a problem. But
run it again. He don't give a shit. He even messed the play up. Just run it. We'll fix it on film.
Yeah,
and I wish Kyle he would have had a year with Singletary too, man.
Oh man, he didn't want no year with Sing, man.
Hey, no,
they would have been
Absolutely.
I'll tell you this. It was entertaining. It was entertaining. That was my rookie year, man. It felt like it took like 5 years to get through that 1 year.
I'm telling you, man. There was some intense years, you know what I'm saying?
It was a lot. It was a lot. I'll just say that.
Well, before we get out of here, Kyle, where can former athletes, you know, normal fans, people that feel like they're having some type of brain malfunction issue, Alzheimer's, dementia, early onset of it, where can they find more information about the resources that you guys provide?
Yeah, so you can go to Nestry.com. You can go to Nestry's Instagram page. You can come to me directly if you would like to. I'd love to help and connect anybody to them. The wordage for it is it's neuro strength. So Nestry, the first part of it, NES, and then the other side is the strength. So NESTRE is how you spell it. Again, a lot of us are involved in it already. Like he's helped a healthy handful of guys that had some brain stuff going on and other guys that just wanted to, kind of get their performance right, because it does help as a human, not just brain-based issues. It does help you just perform better. And, it's for everybody. We just kind of are using this avenue because this is where my passion is, and this is where guys like Calvin's passion is to help us because we deal with such a forefront of these injuries. So we just want to make sure we get it to us in particular, but it's for everyone. So if anybody's dealing with it, more than welcome to come down. They are based in Orlando, right in that Lake Nona area, right where the medical centers are at. So they're right there. And we are mobile as well. So we are trying to get into NFL and college locker rooms to try to help these guys get a baseline of where they're at and then take them to the next level from there.
Tell them I live in Fort Lauderdale and I'm trying to drive up and get my brain waves going,
you will
man.
Get the red carpet rolled out for you, bro.
Oh man,
just let me know. Let me know.
Ian, Ian out there, I ain't gonna talk about Ian, but that'll do it. That's the outro here, and that'll do it for episode 24 of the Griff Code Podcast. Kyle, thanks for joining us today. Thanks for being vulnerable. Thanks for sharing your story, and hopefully your story can help somebody out there. Be sure to subscribe and watch on Apple, Spotify, Instagram, and YouTube. And from myself, Rod, Pat, and Kyle, remember, it's not just a code, it's a way of life.